All right. How's it going, everybody? So, Square Enix, in particular, Alec, reached out to me to reveal an exclusive card for the upcoming set, Hidden Legends. Very exciting. I always love getting to do this, and this is no exception. It's really fun to be part of the hype of spoiler season and to show my love for this game in a way and have that love and care rewarded. So, I'm not going to make y'all wait any longer, but if you do enjoy like the video and the content and the discussion, click the subscribe button. I do lots of talks about meta wrap ups and deck profiles and all sorts of fun things on the channel. So here is our spoiler for the set. It is Firion. A couple people got this right in the little blurred photo. I think that the little bandana, the little yellow spot on it, was a dead giveaway. Um, Firion's a really interesting card. This is my first ever hero spoiler, so I'm very excited about that. I think I've had a bunch of commons and a rare in the past. This is the first one that's ever been a higher rarity. And generally, if you're most of the heroes and legends have hints of competitive viability in them. They're just the power level of them tends to be a lot higher on average. There's a lot more writing on these cards to be good. So let's take a look at Firion and see if he meets the bar. So Firion is a 2 CP Lightning Warrior Rebel category Dissidia and category 2. He has 8,000 power, which is above curve. That's always nice. My saying is that combat doesn't always matter, but combat does matter. The fact that Firion has 8,000 power makes him better than if he didn't. His first effect is a downside. You can only pay with CP produced by lightning backups to cast Firion. This is a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. There are cards that have had similar restrictions that have seen competitive play. There are a lot of cards that have had similar restrictions that have not seen competitive play. This is effectively the cost for them trying to make him above curve. It makes you want to put him in a mono lightning shell for the most part. We'll get to where I think that might be in the future, but I don't think that you wouldn't consider this card in Ice Lightning or Fire Lightning. He has an action ability for Lightning that gives him haste and first strike until the end of the turn. This just kind of makes him into a black belt haste first strike 8K, which wouldn't see play in the year of our Lord 2024, but it's not bad. It's nice to have the ability to do that. So what really it boils down to, beyond the power and the 2 cost, is this special. And I'm going to be honest, this is one of the strongest specials in the game. I think this is a special that has the ability to be worth building around. So this is Drain. Special Lightning 1, choose a forward, break it, activate it, Firion can attack once more this turn. This is non-discriminate break of any forward. Lightning sometimes only hits small forwards, forwards that cost 3 or less, 4 or less. Firion doesn't care. If you have him, he's going to break a forward, activate, and attack once more. This makes him actually a good blocker even. Like, you could attack with him, your opponent attacks, you give him first strike, drain a different forward to activate him, block. But also, like, you could just machine gun Firion. Like, the old Barts that like had the 3 specials, and like the third was like gains brave and can attack 3 times. And the cool thing about Firion compared to that Barts is Firion doesn't have any of like the you have to do all of this to do it. Firion just like, if you want a special one time to get an extra attack, you can. If your opponent has more, you just keep going, and you can get to the situation where you can use this as a way of closing out games you might not otherwise have been able to. Now, notably, you do have to have a forward to break to do it. And there probably will be situations where playing Firion, your opponent isn't going to have a forward, but you can actually break your own forward to give Firion an extra attack, which is a thing that I think a Firion deck would do. Now, I don't think that Firion is generic. I don't think he goes in every deck. But I do think that this is a card worth considering for Lightning Shells going forward. And there's actually a good reason for that. So if we go into the card browser on Materia Hunter, we type in Firion. There are two that really catch my eye. Maybe three, actually. So first of all, if you're in Lightning, there is a Lightning Firion that is actually not a bad card. It's seen only a smattering of play here and there. But this card is very good at closing at lethal, and there's a decent chance you want a Haste Enabler in your Lightning deck anyway, which makes this card into being actually pretty strong. Being able to have this little 1 CP, 8k that can help you get big problematic forwards out of the way. I would not be surprised if this card is better than its play rate has been. The other Firions that are worth considering actually are in Fire. It turns out that Firion being a warrior gives him Tyvis synergy, and this Firion has Crystal synergy and the ability to just nuke something off the face of the planet on entry for 2 CP, which is really good. And there's this Firion, which also has Crystal synergy, and I think that like if this Firion is good, he needs crystals because I think he's going to have a couple of very particular friends. So having a Firion that plays with crystals could be worth it potentially. And I think this is like you play 6 card name Firions or you don't play this card. So I think that like cards like this are going to be completely necessary for this Firion to see play. So what are some of the reasons to play this guy? Let's go with the first one. This is a Knight Warrior with crystals. I don't know why they gave this guy a Job Warrior, but it's the only Ramsey that has the dual jobs like this. And this card's really good. And something kind of... I guess you wouldn't ever do that because you could always break your opponent's forwards, but like... the amount of times you can play this Ramza, get a free point of damage because your opponent doesn't block him, is pretty crazy. And I've seen fun things like using Ramuh to break your own Ramza to pop something bigger. This guy just ends up being like really annoying. He's a really good blocker because you block one thing and then your opponent loses another forward when they do that. This card, as long as you just have a crystal, is a good card. I mentioned Tyvis as well. Could pair well with it. That way you get around the cast requirement. I think Al Cid could be as well. I actually think there's some cards from the new set, though, that intrigue me. Because if we're already thinking this Firion wants to be attacking multiple times, that actually pairs really well with the new Jack Garland. I've heard different opinions. I actually fall on the side that this Jack has a lot of potential. I think that, like, all the text in this card is interesting and powerful, and there are 2-card combos with this Jack that could be really strong. Jack enables cards like Lady Lilith, enables cards like Estinian, so you always get like the best thing you want off of an Estinian. And I actually really like the addition of the Emperor. I think that like you could play this Firion, give it haste and first strike, punch in, kill something because Jack says they have to block. That generates a crystal. You play the Emperor, you gain another crystal. You've gained a crystal at some point with a Knight. You give the Emperor haste with something like a Ramuh or like a Lady Lilith, and now you have the ability to just win the game. I think there's a lot of potential for this, like Mono Lightning or Ice Lightning Crystal deck. Like especially with like the Lightning Lady Lilith is still a very strong card, and giving the Lightning forward haste. This is a way of enabling the Firion without having to pay into the Firion on that turn if the Lady Lilith sticks around for an extra turn or two. Or you could do something like give a forward haste, break another thing, do another one. I think Lady Lilith plus Jack has a lot of potential as well. There is like the shell of a Lightning Crystal hybrid deck. You have a card like Drace to search out the Lilith or the Firion or the extra Firion for the special. And you kind of got this little stew going. Tyvis can play either of them. Tyvis or the Ramza as well. You can play Kunshira, which is a warrior for some weird reason. Fire Lightning has the Ishtola, obviously, which is a very powerful card. Could help. Uh, there, you also have the ability of Cyan potentially, like Cyan plus Jack Garland. I think there's a lot of potential for a lot of these 2-card combos to have enough synergy. I don't think it's like Mono Earth, but that's what Mono Earth really is. It's a pile of 2-card synergies. And is Firion the card that puts these like this like lightning crystal shell over on the? Maybe not. But I'll leave that to you. What do you think of Firion? Let me know in the comments. I'll be around probably in all of the discords as well. But I have high hopes and somewhat muted expectations for the card. I don't think that the deck that he's good in exists quite yet, but I don't think that there is a lack of potential for him. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.